tried to look at this because it would be the international finals speech as somebody who's not from America. And I noticed two things. One, will your international audience, and more importantly the international judges, know who Jerry Springer is? He's infamous, but is he internationally infamous enough that they'll get the reference? And I once did a presentation to a bunch of kids on what gestures mean in different cultures. And depending on where that is one of your gestures, there's somewhere where that's not a good thing.
Which gesture was it?
Yeah.
Some people call it hook 'em horns, but in Italian it's not nice.
Yep.
So be careful.
It's a gang sign too.
Yeah, cut your
It's
hands
a gang
off.
sign also.
What people do with their fingers,
join
go
the gang.
figure.
Yeah.
The message that you're delivering should be reflected in your title. And the whole message, as I heard it, was, am I portraying or showing the person that people would want to be just like me? Title being just like me. And weave that through, and we can talk about that later.
Okay. Thank you.
Ooh, Christine?
Pass for the moment, I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Just one comment, you had a phrase where you said decision to character over comfort, or decision
Right.
of character over comfort, and I think what you meant was to place character over comfort, and I think we need that verb in there.
Place versus the hardest decision I ever to make. That was the decision of character over comfort.
You said the decision of character over comfort, and I think your verb is probably to place character over comfort, or to move it forward somehow. It's a verb, but it doesn't seem like it.
I've heard the speech many times.
Yeah.
You have delivered the speech many times. It may just be me, but I'm getting the sense that you've delivered it many times. And I'm not seeing in you the emotion and the connection that I saw the first couple of times I saw you do it. And somewhere in the process of refining and delivering the speech, you've lost connection to it from my perspective. You're gonna have to reconnect to this one, because I got out of this one thinking, great message, I'm cold. You gotta reconnect it.
Kathy?
I thought it was really good. I really liked where you showed that you demonstrated that by going and shaking the hand of your ex-wife's boyfriend. I just thought that was really, I thought everybody could relate to that. And that's always the first step when you are trying to change, and that's a big one. So I thought that was really a great point.
Jeff?
This was your first time hearing it?
Yeah.
See, there you go. There you go. If I may. Few notes. I am going to key in on something that Mike said, the greeting. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Oh, come on. You're a lot better than that. Make the speech up. Mr. Toastmaster and anybody in the audience who's ever wrestled with a philosophical dilemma or something like that. That greeting is your opportunity to in some way kind of bring us into the speech and make it our speech right off the bat. Yeah, I've wrestled with stuff like that. So there you go, creative opening. And Kathy got this as well, you are a person that one of the strong points is you have moments, impact moments in your speech. Every single speech that you've done has had an impact moment. And it was the same thing. That, may I make a suggestion? Like the Superman movies, when Clark Kent would go from Clark Kent to Superman. I kind of saw you do it up there when you were like this. If I may, the staging, I assume you have it all. When you walk from where you were to where he was, may I suggest that you be stage left and move to stage right or stage right? Because when you extend your hand, does it look better if you're in the audience and your hand is like this, talking to us? or like this,
Yes.
talking to us.
Open.
Figure that out. I think it's open as well. Randy Harvey also tells us that there are certain times when you need to give the audience permission to take our eyes off of you. When you shake hands with somebody, do you shake hands with them like this? That's how you shook hands with them. You show us. Great day for a baseball game. You're giving the audience permission for us to take our eyes off of you and view what's happening. That's your transformative moment. Show us. That is the lifting off of your shoulders of that weight. You've now realized what you are. Last thing about taking the eyes off, you realize in the front of the speech, you do character, comfort. And at the end of the speech, it was character, comfort. Duplicate that gesture. So at the end of the speech, and here again, may I suggest, again, suggestion, give the audience an anchor you can look at. You know, comfort, and of course character is up here. At the end of your speech. Last thing, Randy Harvey again suggests that speeches be written out in prose form. There's a few instances in here where you have a word that doesn't need to be there. But he's still not on my Christmas list. Drop the but.
Yeah.
That's a 1-second pause that you can give us. He's still not on my Christmas list. That type of thing. Again, to me, the transformative moment, I'm sorry, because this is a big deal. This is the World Championship
Yes.
speecher.
Yes.
Is that transformative moment. Show us, just like Dan said, the emotion. That's when, all of a sudden, at that moment, you became a different man.
Got it. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful speech.
Charles?
Having not heard the speech before, I thought it was magnificent, and I'm not worthy to criticise, so I will not. But I will concur with Dan that when you give a speech too often, it happens to me, I get on the stage too often and sometimes you get sloppy. And I'm not saying you did, but having given it many, many times, as a grammarian, there was no room in there for got to say.
Sterling?
Got to say.
Got to say.
Got it.
You don't have to got to say.
Got to say.
I picked that up as a grammarian, not as a legend.
Karen mentioned the Jerry Springer. I also think not everyone knows what Cheetos are.
Right.
I was gonna bring
Yeah.
that up too.
Okay.
Junk food.
Ice cream.
Everything else.
Everybody knows what ice cream
Junk
is.
food, ice cream, yeah.
Ice cream.
Everybody knows
Good.
ice cream.
Something like that.
Okay.
Some countries it's
If
junk
you have, they might not
beverages.
have ice cream in India.
Candy.
Dolores? Yeah, sorbet and gelato and. Hi. Great job. A couple of things, a lot of great things, a couple of things I would think about, just off things. Pre-law, pre-med, pre-law, pre-prison, I don't like the prison thing.
Okay.
I'd say I don't know what, or something, not as dooming him to a terrible fate.
That's true.
I don't know.
Not true.
It's not true anyway. It's not true
I
anyway.
like that, very good.
What?
I don't know.
No, no.
Who knows?
Who knows? Like that.
That's
Who
a
knows?
day-to-day thing.
You could get humor.
Yeah, I know.
We don't know
Not
that.
prison. Prison won't make people. I don't. Prison didn't make anybody laugh
Free
today anyway.
undecided.
Tremendous.
Yeah,
And we
but
can't
when you
relate.
said the Cheetos and then you said the big bag of Cheetos, you laughed at it yourself. You laughed at your own jokes. Just wait for the audience to laugh. Couple times you laughed. You did that too when you said you're an idiot. You're an idiot thing. You laughed. So don't leave us to the laughter. Let the audience find the laughter. Couple of times okay, one more thing. I got a couple more, but I'll just give you one more. Against every grain in my body doesn't sound right to me. A grain is in a piece of meat, or a grain, I don't know. Against every
Fiber.
fiber of my
Fiber of my
body, of
body.
my being, something, there's another phrase for that. A grain in my body doesn't sound right to me.
Fiber of fiber of my being with you.
Yeah. Against every instinct.
Right, there you go,
Yes.
that's really
That's
good.
even better.
How about instinct? Against every instinct.
You go, girl.
All right, and then the word emulate, for my sons to emulate. It's a big word, you use a lot of big words. And it's a little, almost, I think you should speak to the folks, right? Because your words, you have a lot of, college professor words, professorial sounding. Some of it's like professorial teaching. So just go back to natural language, someone for them to look up to. For my sons,
Yeah, that's a really.
you know, something just that basic. If you use any big words, go back and look at them and see if you can say it in a more, just like to the folks. You want your speech to reach the real people, not just the educated, because emulate is a big word.
Yeah, but it's not the same as look up to.
It's still a great word. It's still look-
Emulate's good.
Well,
There's
I'm
other
just
words to
saying,
use.
find the more basic way of saying, otherwise I love your whole theme and how, your life changed because of that one question. You might come back to that at the end, well, that one question, you started it with it, and then you could come back to it. That one question changed my life, you know what I mean?
That's really.
That's a slick little,
All right, thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Paul?
Hey, Steve? A good speech, good presentation, good delivery. I'm gonna disagree with some people here. One thing that I wrote down is that right now, as you have it, it's a good speech, but it's not in international speech. It's not a speech for the international stage. And it's not just the Jerry Springer and the Cheetos, and the baseball, and some of these guys like,
Americanism.
yeah, India or Malaysia or whatever, what's baseball? Now, football, they might understand.
That's,
And second thing is, saying something, too many negative things in there. It's, to me, I got sort of the extent that you were telling us your life story, not necessarily what you learned from it or how to inspire people to do something. It has to be less negative, more inspirational. What you learned out of it, how we can help them out of it. And the other thing I wrote down was the introduction. To me, the way you started out seemed that what you were saying there was part of the body, part of your first example, what you were given, rather than the introduction itself. That's the way I was getting it. I know it might be a little bit hard hitting, but we're trying to get you to win here.
Sharon?
Steve, I think this whole speech is that defining moment. When you do that, I mean, I just get chills talking about it. But, you know, it just, when you shake the guy's hand and it's like, yeah, like, do I wanna do that, right? So I think the more you can hold that feeling that I know you had when you did that, when you were speaking up there, I could feel that feeling that you got when you shook that guy's hand, more so than I could some of the other things that you said. One thing I would watch is when your wife's calling you an idiot, we don't want anyone on stage thinking you're an idiot. So think of another word or another way to do that little scenario where she wanted coffee. It is funny, but yet really, we don't want anyone calling you an idiot up there because you are not an idiot. You've made it to the international stage, and even, you know, you want to keep your self-image a little more positive, even though you can make something funny, another, you know, I don't know what it is yet, but there could be another way to
Self-deprecate.
yeah, self-deprecate yourself without saying I'm an
without
idiot,
too far.
you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It does sting, it's a very stinging word.
Yeah, idiot is a hard word, and it's not, like, nobody wants to be an idiot, but maybe a schmuck or something, but schmuck wouldn't be good either, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, think of another way to say
Who would say
that,
that?
because, you know, you show your character being developed in this whole speech, and, you know, the more you can, I don't know, the more you can get into that defining moment, the more people, I think, will connect to you, and realize, yeah, you